legal advice, but it's just for public sensitization. Please contact your lawyer for legal advice on every circumstance. Thank you. Welcome to another edition of our program. In today's edition, we are going to look at the right on arrest. The right that someone has when the person is being arrested by any security agency. And one of these rights is right to a lawyer. One of the rights that you have on arrest is that you have a right to a lawyer. And the second right, the right to remain silent. So, rights on arrest, right to a lawyer, which is the first one. It is the right of the arrested person to have access to a lawyer of his choice. I repeat, it is the right of an arrested person to have access to a lawyer of his own choice. No, it is not an arrested person to have a right to a lawyer per se, but you have the right to have an access to a lawyer of your choice. Now, anyone who is arrested or detained by any law enforcement agent has a right to a lawyer. This means that the arrested person must be told promptly that he has a right to a lawyer. Now, the arrested officer, it is the responsibility, or the arrested officer is bound to inform you promptly upon the arrest that you have a right to have access to a lawyer of your choice. Now, you must also be given a reasonable chance, a lawyer. And if you could not afford the service of a lawyer, informing the arresting officer that you cannot afford the service of a lawyer when the arresting officer informed you, then the arresting officer is duty bound to inform you about Legal Aid Council of Nigeria. Now, if after that it is the responsibility of the arresting officer to allow you to speak to your lawyer privately. Now, as I said earlier, one of your rights is a right to a lawyer. And it is the duty of the arresting officer to inform you promptly that you have this right. And when the arresting officer informed you of this right, if you could not afford the service of a lawyer, inform the arresting officer. Then the arresting officer is duty bound to inform you about the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria. The Legal Aid Council of Nigeria are the council or the agency that render free service, what they call pro bono, free service to anyone that is having a trial for the court. If you have a lawyer of your own choice, the arresting officer the arresting officer must allow you to speak to your lawyer privately. It is not the duty of the arresting officer to keep you that whatever I want to say to your lawyer, he must hear it. No, you have that right of privacy, and you have the right to communicate to your lawyer privately. So it is your right upon arrest to have an access to your lawyer. The second right is that you have right to remain silent, which is your constitutional right. You have the right to remain silent. So anyone who has been arrested or detained has the right to remain silent, and the arrested person must be told that he has such right. Now, you have this right to remain silent. Then the arresting officer, which is the police officer or any security agency or the law enforcement agents, is duty bound to inform you upon arrest that you have a right to be silent. Though when you are arrested, you are bound to give the police officer your correct name, but not other than your name. So what you ought to do when though you have the right for the arrest, but you don't have the right not to give your names or your detail to the police officer. The only thing that you are bound to give the arresting officer upon arrest is only your name. So after your name, you have the right to be silent. You don't need to answer any question anymore after you have given your name to the arresting officer. And don't give the police officer any kind of statement, either in writing or otherwise. So when you are arrested and you have given your name to the police officer, one, don't answer any question until your lawyer is present or until you have contacted your lawyer. And don't give any arresting officer any statement, either in writing or otherwise. The law enforcement agent will ask you a question though, but you don't need to answer, because if you answer or anything you do or say at that time, it can be used against you. Whatever answer that you give to the arresting officer at that point in time can be used against you in the court of law, and which might land you in prison because of it can be a careless statement which you have made before the arresting officer. So what you need to do upon arrest, or the right you have upon arrest, is one, the right to a lawyer and the right to remain silent. Thank you very much for watching this video. As we said earlier, this video is not a legal advice, but it is for public sensitization. Please contact your lawyer for legal advice in all circumstances. Please continue to share our program, continue to view our program, and continue to have access to our program as we will continue to sensitize the public on issues that has public interest. Thank you for watching. Remain connected. Thank you.